South Africa has the dubious honour of possessing the only prison in the world where both Gandhi and Mandela were locked up. It's the Old Fort Prison in Johannesburg, where the new Constitutional Court is going to be built. One of my pleasures, and by the way, I'm Albie, Sachs, Justice of the Constitutional Court, is to get out of my robes and stiff posture as a judge, don an African shirt, and meet with artists on the site to explain to them how we want to convert the pain of the past into hope for the future on the basis of their vision. There were about 100 artists there, and my colleague Justice Yvonne Mokgoro said how wonderful it would be if for once artists and architects and judges who were always used to working on their own could collaborate and create a building that was welcoming to the public and not frightening like most courts are. Bongi Dlomo Motlua is the coordinator of the whole artworks program, and she explained afterwards on national television that the idea was to get works of art from all over South Africa and artists to produce the doors, the screens, the chandeliers, the tiles, the walls, to get school children involved. So this would truly be a national building. When the awaiting trial prison was demolished to make way for the new court building, we were at pains to preserve the bricks. They will be put into wire cages and themselves become the walls of the chamber of the new Constitutional Court. The visitors' room, so dismal before, will now be an installation on Constitutional Square. And two of the staircases will be kept and enlarged as towers of light and viewing spots in Constitutional Square. Running down the hill from the square will be the great African steps. On the left, the most miserable of the prisons, popularly known and detested as Number 4, and on the right, the glass frontage of the court's new art gallery. In a prominent position on the steps, we plan to locate a 1.5 times human-size sculpture by the artist Dumilifeni, who died in New York, sadly, just as democracy was being achieved in South Africa. The walls of the court chamber itself will be graced with 3 very large tapestries by the South African artist now living in Amsterdam, Marlene Dumas. There will also be tapestries by Willie Bester and Joseph Ndlovu, a large wood panel by Cecil Scottness and Hamilton Badaza, and a striking set of art objects by Judith Mason based on her listening to broadcasts of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. A warm, bright picture by Andrew Verster will be near a bronze sculpture by Wilma Cruz, and a rather extraordinary woven piece of brass knitting by the lecturer Walter Altman. To lighten the scene will be a witty piece by Norman Catherine. As is usual in court buildings, there will be photographs or pictures of the judges. And then there's a very striking set of panels by a young artist, Sipho Ndlovu, representing his imagination, his view of the last 10 years of South African history, the period of transition from the painful period of torture and executions to the triumphant period when Nelson Mandela was released and the whole new era of constitutional democracy began.